Okay, so yesterday we left off on part four, so we're gonna go into part five of when the tables turn. Let me get comfy. Okay, so yesterday we had Jessica meeting Mike over at the restaurant after she was suspended from her job, and yeah, so we're gonna start there. Jessica sat across from Mike and Michael, and she was so conflicted about what just happened and still trying to piece together the answers to why it happened and how it happened. Michael just sat across from her as if he somehow was a part of it, but not admittedly saying what it was. It's like he purposely was keeping her out and away from the truth. So the moment she caught on, because Jessica was really good at like catching on to behavior patterns and to looking at a person to decide whether or not how they were either reacting or not reacting to what she was saying, who they are in that moment and what they weren't in that moment as well. So Jessica watched him as she expressed herself with a lot of passion, and it was the way he was still trying to discover her. It was intentional. So she just sat there watching him, watching her that way. But she never let him on to know that that's how she saw him. So she continued and told him that, and asked him how did he get in contact with the rest of the people that came along. And he looked at her and he said, "Well, it was a private account, and he said, I met them through a group, and they were all anonymous, so it's kind of hard to trace back to them." Jessica looked at him knowingly that he was not being 100%. So she said, "Well, Michael, I thought there was something you had to tell me, and it doesn't look like you're forthcoming. What is it that you needed to say?" I mean, I feel like all of this has something to do with that night, because that night is what was presented to me today, and that night is what led me to suspension, and that night led me to you at Walgreens. Why is that? I don't believe in coincidences, Michael, so I would appreciate if you give me the answers that I'm looking for right now, because my life is turning upside down. Michael drew in a deep breath and let it out. He said, "Well, look here. I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can somehow track them down. I'll go back into the group." And she said, she stopped him right there. "Michael, what is the name of the group? Show me now from your phone. What is the name of the group?" Michael said, I can't do that." "Excuse me? I can't do that." "Okay. What's the secret, Michael?" "Well, it's not a secret. It's an anonymous group, and I can't disclose that information. If I do, I'm sorry. I just can't do it." "Michael, my life is turning upside down, and I would appreciate some answers. At least if you can just get in touch with the people that were there that night, and hopefully I can get my life back in order. I'll do what I can." "Okay." Would you like something to eat or drink, Jessica?" "No, I think I'm going to head out. My husband, I want to start dinner before he gets home. And I need to go to the grocery store, so I'm going to head out. "You have a good day, Michael." So Jessica pushed her chair back, and Michael watched as she stood up and turned around and headed out to the exit and out the door. He even watched her out the window get into her car and started. He watched her drive off, and he just sat there. And then all of a sudden he pulled his phone out and he went back into the private chat group and he started tapping away and said, "She knows. She knows. I don't know what we're going to do," but he said, "Margaret messed up and sent her those emails." Or who sent her he said, "Well, if not Margaret, but who? Who sent her those emails? Why did someone send her those photos? Why would somebody leak those photos?" So all of a sudden, all these chats start popping up in the group chat. All these different answers of, "I don't know," and "Who could have done that?" And the very person that had did it didn't say a word. They were very quiet watching all the responses. They didn't say a thing. So Michael was just disturbed because he knew Jessica was a decent person. He didn't understand that somebody wanted to leak those photos to her in the fashion that they did. He wanted to help her, but he was too tied in. So he took a deep breath. He's like, gosh. He waited for the waiter. The waiter came right on over and he said, "Another bourbon, please." "Yes, sir, right away." So the waiter walks off and Michael sits there. He sits there and he waits and he just looks at all the responses, and the chat was too large to be able to determine who this person was. But somewhere deep in that chat, there was someone that was causing a threat and bringing attention to them. And Michael wanted to get down to the bottom of it. He just didn't know how exactly yet. So he decided to pose another question, and he posed it, and all of a sudden there was more responses to the chat, more responses, but it never will equal out to how many people that were involved in that chat. So Michael felt like, wow, I got to get to the bottom of this. So he remembered the names. He personally knew the names of the people that had joined them that night. So he decided to seek them out and personalize a chat between the four of them along with himself. And he said, "Hey guys," he said, "let's get together tonight." And he said, I got a really great young lady that she's amazing, and let's get together tonight. And he said, I'll send you guys the location. He waited for their responses. Then all of a sudden, they all tagged in. Michael was excited because now he can look them all in the eye and detect whether or not if any of them had anything to do with what happened to Jessica. Even though Michael was in a situation, he didn't want her in the situation. He felt somewhat protective of her. He didn't know why, but he did. So he took a deep breath and he said, "I'll get down to the bottom of it, Jessica. I won't let nothing happen to you. But I will get to the bottom of it." So finally, Michael's bourbon came. And he grabbed it and he handed the waitress a tip. And she smiled and thanked him. And then he asked her, "What are you doing tonight?" She said, I don't have any plans." And he said, "Well, you do now." She smiled and she said, "Cool." So